Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Isaiah, and in this video we're going to talk about how we made over $600 this week, as well as how we've made over $18,000 year to date selling options and collecting dividends. For those that are new to the channel, we sell options. When you sell a put, you're agreeing to buy a stock for a predetermined price, and when you sell a call, you're agreeing to sell a stock for a predetermined price. In either scenario, you get paid a credit. We also have some high-yielding dividend funds, including ULTY and YMAX. They pay us every week. But for this video, we're going to jump over to our Excel file to break down every trade we have made this week, as well as our running total for the last 23 weeks. Before we do that, let's jump over to our trade history, and you can see our option orders. Now, dividends don't hit the account till tonight, so they won't be in the history just yet, but we have counted them in for the week. We collected $29 from rolling our Riot position, $10 from rolling ALT, $80. We sold a new cash secured put this week on Snapchat. I used to use that app a lot, so when you sell a cash secured put, like I said, you're agreeing to buy a stock for a predetermined price. So we sold 2 contracts, meaning we agreed to buy Snap 200 shares. Each contract is 100 shares at the $7 strike. And because we agreed to do that, we got paid $80 just to agree to buy a stock trading cheaper than it currently is listed at. So I always consider selling options a big win, especially when you get to do it on companies that you use. Now, I haven't used Snapchat too much in the last couple of years, but I definitely used to use it. Let's see. We tried to sell a $5 put on ASPN. We just couldn't get it filled at a good credit, so I didn't do it. ULTY, we did buy 150 shares this week. My goal has been to get 200 shares every week, but last week it didn't come down enough, so we didn't buy any. And I should have bought 200 on Monday when it was down. I only bought 150, hoping it would come down a little bit more today. And of course, it's like at $6.30. So I'm not going to force that trade. When it comes down to that 615 range, under 620, I definitely will buy some more, but I don't want to above the current price. We rolled ALT there as well, collected $69, $78 for rolling it. We actually rolled that position twice. When you can do that twice in the same week and collect around $150 for it, that's pretty good. TIGR, we rolled that, collected $28, and we rolled Run, collecting $60, and that's how we started our week. So we're going to jump over to our Excel file to break down the trades a little bit easier to read, but I wanted you to see my trade history. This account is full transparency, always open with every trade that I make, so that way we can all grow. Okay, so let's take a look here at our Excel file. Zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So as you can see, we collected $665.86 this week. Another amazing week. A friend on Fiverr sent me QS Quantum Space today, and I really wanted to sell a $6 put. But as I preach every video, once you hit your weekly goal, step away. So Monday, that's going to be one of the first trades we get into. Once you hit your weekly goal for this account, our goal is to generate $600 per week. We made that goal, so we didn't open a new position, although I was extremely tempted. So let's look at the third column, play. Rolled CSP. That's rolled your cash secured put. When you sell the cash secured put, you're agreeing to buy that stock for a predetermined price. Whenever you do that, you set an expiration date. That's when the contract ends. So if you sell a put on Snap like we did for $7, we set the expiration at 8/15. Well, what's going to happen that week in August when it gets there, I'm not going to let that position expire. I'm going to roll that position. And that's how I generate most of my income. As you can see, roll, 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 roll. All you're doing is changing your expiration date, going from the one you currently have to another couple months out, giving yourself more time to make a decision, to collect some income, maximize the revenue generated from the stock. I will roll positions out for as long as I can, and I've rolled, even in this account alone, I've rolled positions in other accounts for years. But even in this account alone, I have multiple positions that are over a year old. And it makes it a lot easier just to roll those positions rather than open some new ones. So you look at that. We only opened one new play this week, CSP on Snapchat there. Everything else was something we already had, so we rolled. Next week, we only have 2 contracts set to expire, so we're definitely going to open up some new positions next week. This week, like I said, we only opened up one new one because we hit our goals with dividends and rolling positions. So next week, look for some more trades. But once you hit that $600 mark, no over trades, stop right there and move on. Let's go to our running total tab. Come on. If I get my thumb to click it. There we go. Running total. So for the last 23 weeks, we started this account doing our trade history 23 weeks ago. And over that 23-week span, we have collected $17,563. And for those that are new, I did go and pull the trade history and put it on the older tab there. And all in all, it was around $1,500 for the first couple weeks of January. So you add that into that 17.5, and we're at about $19K on the year, which is amazing. I don't put it in here for the sole reason as we started the account on this channel on that week of January 20th. That's when we started showing all the trade history. So even though I want to put it on there, it puts us closer to that 20K amount, I'm not going to, because I want to stick to that consistency of we have been showing that trade history and keeping everything open since that January 20th timeframe. So, it's 23 weeks. Again, we've collected $17,563. If you would take that amount, divide it by 23, the number of weeks we've done so far, it averages $763 per week. It's a pretty good paycheck. And then if you would multiply that amount by 52, you would have collected $39,708. Pretty dang good year if we can stay with it, which I have no doubt we will. Let's go over to the dividends tab. So, as you can see here, we collected $241 in dividends this week. From that 1,750 shares of ULTY, we collected $161. As I said, the goal is to get that to 2,000 shares. Hopefully we can get at least 50 shares before the next ex-dividend date. YMAX, we have 518 shares. Collected another $80, giving us $240 on the week. Let's see if I can show you, if I can get this to cooperate with me. It's hard to get it to work on Excel here while you're on the phone. But I think you can see that for YMAX and ULTY, my biggest payers, YMAX year-to-date, we've collected $1,933 for it. And ULTY, year-to-date, we've collected $1,423. So for both of those, if you include our dividends, regardless of what the price average is at, we are significantly up, especially on ULTY. So these funds have definitely been pretty beneficial to the account so far. But I do want to get the point across. You will generate more income selling your own options over investing the high-yielding dividend funds. But if you're able to do both, maximize some cash flow and a little bit more diversity that way. So that is our running total and our weekend total. We're going to jump back over to our Robinhood account to close. Okay, we're back here in the account. Like I said, for the week, we finished at $660. The account is at $58,394. You know, really hoping for some down days. Really love pullback days. If you are new to the account or new to the channel, you're probably like, oh man, why would you want down days? When you sell options, you make so much more money selling puts on down days than you do on the up days. So We won some down days. I know that'll show the overall account going down, but we're generating more income. So then the next time we have an up market, it really goes up fast. So this account, my goal was to get us over 60 by the end of July. You know, if the market stays pretty flat like it's been, I have no doubt we'll be there. But because of how much we have invested in ULTY and YMAX in this account, when we have down days, those two stocks pretty much bring it down because we don't own a ton of stuff. Most of our investments are in options. As you can see here, we have quite a few options open. I think we have over 60 contracts open altogether. Like I said, this is an income generating account. Our goal is to collect some capital, grow the account that way. Yeah, we got contracts going all the way through January of next year. I know that seems like a long way out, but you got to remember we are at July on Monday, so we're already coming up to week 7, or month 7 of the year. So the year flies by, the week flies by, then the weekend flies by. But as long as we're continuing to build and grow the account, we're always succeeding, and we will. And I do want to take the time to appreciate each and every one of you that comment, send me some of your plays, because I use them. I love it. If you're someone that wants to learn how to sell options, I do have a Fiverr. I'll put the link in the description below. And if you're new to trading and you're not sure which brokerage account to use, Robinhood is great, especially for new users. It's easy to navigate, easy to understand. And I use Fidelity and Webull. I use both of them. But for new users or somebody that wants to navigate a brokerage system pretty easily, Robinhood is the way to go. So with that being said, I will close out my video here, and I will see you guys